Hello everybody and welcome back to Project Cars 2. Today we're going to be racing around Mount Panorama in the V8 Supercars. This is probably one of my favorite tracks car combos, and we did pretty well in qualifying, so let's see how it goes. We're off, starting in the 5th. We're going to drop down a position right off the bat, no big deal. We're going to play a fun little side game here. Play along if you like. Every time someone is backwards, starting now, that's one, take a drink of whatever you're drinking. Water, coffee, alcoholic beverage, doesn't matter. Play at your own risk. So that's one. Anyway, managed to get through there okay, down into 7th place, and we're going to come down the mountain straight towards the beginning of the mountain, the climb that is. So let's see if we can get through here. We're not going to get lunged from behind, thankfully, but there is going to be an incident up ahead, and there was really no working my way around that. There's no way I could have sent it around the other side of the momentum I was carrying, so nothing I can really do about that. Down into 10th place. A little oof to let people know how I feel. And we're going to carry on up into the quarry section just past here. Get around okay. Very tricky section with the camber road, like right here. You can really kick out very easily, so you have to be easy on the throttle. Here too, a little bit too quick and you're understeering into the wall, but we get through alright. This green car just keeps getting sucked off as if he's magnetically attracted to that wall on the left. That was twice there. A third time now he gets pulled off to the left again. These cars are actually just a handful with all the torque they can provide. Like, it's a ridiculous amount, more than you've ever experienced at like 5% throttle, so really easy to lose control. Coming into the S's, we are faring okay. Doing quite alright. A lot of traffic, it's going to be hard to work our way past. I learned this move while I was watching the 12-hour GT highlights. This Porsche just squeezed up the inside here. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good line. And it works out pretty well online quite often. So that paid off, watching that. Learned a neat little trick. We're going to have this red slow car who braked up for the right-hand kink there and still managed to go wide. We're going to have another guy backwards on the track there. That's another drink. What's that, 3 or 4 now? I wasn't even paying attention. But we're going to get swarmed coming around this corner because of it. So we're going to work our way to the defensive line once one of them gets past. And sort of just hold off 8th place here. We'll hold on to 8th place. Just for a moment, I realize he's right in my side now. We make a little bit of contact. I feel like we just felt each other and both back off. That's a good sign. Coming up into turn 1 here, off of the main straight, and look at that. He just perfectly timed that cut back. There was literally no space there. And gets a beautiful run down the mountain straight towards the beginning of the climb. We're going to sort of peek up the door and just barely manage to avoid someone who spun out there. He goes and claims someone else as he whips it around just as I pass. So we're very fortunate there. So just jumping ahead to the skyline, coming down into the S's. This is where we sort of get a position here. The Fernando guy, sorry, I can't pronounce his name. The red car here is having a bit of a trouble, especially coming into the dipper here. We're going to go around him, and he's going to respect the space, and we're going to come for a very cheeky little cut across into the Forest elbow here and power down the straight, get far enough away where we don't have to worry about him making a move. And we're actually going to do some editing trickery here. We're going to skip ahead a whole lap, and we've caught up to these fellas. They're still battling, the 3 of them. One of them is going to spin out, so we're going to get a position that way. And a little bit more editing. We're going to skip a little bit more editing magic. We're going to skip ahead 2 laps, same spot. And those 2 are still battling. They got a little further away, but they're not going to pit. You do have to pit once during this race. It's mandatory, so we're going to go now and hope to get the undercut on those fellows. Maybe they'll blunder about a bit too much, and we'll be able to catch up. We'll see what happens. It's always a risk going in early, just because you can see I was the only person who pitted there. I'm down in the last place, and now there's the potential for people who haven't pitted yet to really slow me down. Skipping ahead to the beginning of the descent, we can see that we have a fella here who just cannot get his stuff together. We're going to try going around. He's going to make a little bit of contact. Their stuff, though. Didn't know I was there. He's going to hold on to the position for now. But we're going to pull off that same move at the very beginning. The inside, it's nowhere near as spectacular as the fellow who did it during the 12th hour. That was so tight, but I mean, it's the same line that's paying off big time for us. So we got him once there. That's pretty nice. He uses the slipstream to catch right up, and you can see this is probably where he has me better than anywhere else on the track. His braking coming into there, he's just a little bit braver, but it's 6 laps into a 10-lap race, and I'm not about to start experimenting with braking points at the risk of losing positions. So we're going to start gaining positions now, thanks to the people who are actually pitting. And the fellow behind me is opting to stay out another lap, so that's very strange behavior. But it's only 10 laps, and a lot of people will go the whole 9 yards, essentially, the whole 9 laps, and pit at the last moment. It happens, so I'm ready for it. We're going to hold on to 5th place. Coming up here, again, a lap later, he is going to run a little wide, I think, and I just give him the space to rejoin, and he manages. So I'm going to get a bit of a gap now, bit of breathing space. We're going to jump ahead another lap. He's still on my tail. I thought he was going to pit, but he didn't. So I'm going to go take a defensive line, and he's going to try and make it work around the outside. Just give him space, and he does. So, you know what? Fair to him. That was a good move. Fair play. What am I trying to say? Credit where credit's due. That was a good pass. So just jumping ahead. He had me in the braking towards the end, I think, but this mountain section, I just totally dominated him here. You can see I keep having to lift to sort of make up for his pace. And he keeps drifting wide and going off the actual racing line. So this is my section right now. This is where I've got him quite happily. And we're going to see if we can't find some kind of opening up here, because he is really just slowing me down. He has not pitted yet. We're not even racing each other. I appreciate the fact that he pulled off a good move, but really, he shouldn't be slowing me down like this. He should have pitted by now. So, holding it together through the dipper, the S's, all that fun stuff. Coming up into Forest Elbow, and we're going to go for the same move yet again. He's a little bit better this time, but we're still going to get the momentum on the run, on the exit, and just slot back in front of him. So, he has to pit this lap, or else he's going to get DQ'd. So I'm in a good spot right now. I should be able to just sail on, absolutely no problem, and start working my way for 4th. I can see him on the mini-map there. He's not too far away. Just going around the kink now, the left-hander. And we're coming up to the breaking point, and he's just fed up with me. He decides to throw a little temper tantrum, you know. I don't know if he was embarrassed or he felt like an idiot because I completely just outclassed him on Forest Elbow there, but absolutely rams me off the track. And then here you can see he realizes just as he's passing the pits, oh, I didn't know I needed to pit. So absolutely just terrible player right there. Didn't even know the rules. Gets really dirty when he thinks it counts, and just blows it. So I'm gonna get really close to him on the pit wall there, so he hears my V8 just rip by, and let him know he's a complete idiot. Asshole, jerk. I even take a second here on the straight to type in loser, because I was just so pissed off at that. It's one thing to battle me for an unnecessary amount of laps and screw us both over, but yeah, it speaks for itself. Look how close I was to 4th. He just crossed the line moments before I got there, so it was still a fun race. There was still a lot of highlights. It was exciting, but absolutely appalling behavior from that checkered fella there. And you'd think he'd have a bad driver rating or something, but overall, this could have been a glitch in the game. He was rated better than me. He had an A rating, apparently, and a higher skill rating. He did have a faster lap, but he also, you know, probably cut a corner or something to make it happen. So, skipping ahead to the Red Bull Ring. This is qualifying, where you can see this is my last chance at a hot lap in this BMW. I think I nailed my braking point. I'm actually pretty good at that first corner. And he just decided, no, I'm the one who gets to go first, and punted me out of the way. So he qualified up in front of me a couple positions. It's only 7 laps, no pitting this time, but we're gonna try and have another clean race. Red Bull Ring's probably one of the tracks that I'm fastest around, most comfortable around, so we'll see what we can make happen here. Coming out into the first corner, it's never usually good. There's an Audi doing a kickflip. That was pretty cool. He landed it too. And the usual shenanigans. And we're side by side with our best bud here. A little bit of contact. I back out. I know what he's like. Acura didn't know, and he starts getting in a little pushing battle. The sign gets involved, and that's it. You can see on the mini-map, the Acura's gone. He's done. That's his race. So, right on the tail of the BMW. He's braking up a little early, then moving across in the braking zone to defend. Meanwhile, we get just swarmed by a Renault and an Audi. The Renault takes out the BMW, but the Audi gets by very clean. That was a really impressive move. I follow him into this hairpin a little bit too much. The back end gets out. That was not good. And now we're going to get swarmed by a Porsche and the BMW again. So I'm going to let him go by just because I know I don't want to be side by side with this guy. He's going to not play fair. He's not going to play nice. Skipping ahead just to the beginning of the second lap. and we're right on the tail of the Porsche. We're not really making any progress, but we get a slowdown warning, so you really have to heed these warnings or else you risk getting a silly penalty. So I am lifting. I'm barely trying to humor it, and it does go away, so it paid off. We're going to get lunged by the Renault again, way too deep, boy. You need to figure out your braking points. He actually spins right round there. Good thing we're not playing the drinking game anymore. I think anybody who was playing that's had enough. The Porsche, the same corner, a lap later, is going to go just a bit too deep and give up the position to me. He's got the Audi R8 on his tail right now. And right here, I think they might have talked to each other about this. I think they're like, hey, let's try and get in one of this guy's videos. Because look at this synchronized spinach. Just, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. It's so easy to do on that corner. But they both did it at the same time. That was funny. That looked interesting. Skipping ahead to the 5th lap. Our BMW friend has made a terrible mistake coming around the first hairpin here. Giving us the opportunity to, well, giving us a glimmer of hope, I guess. And sure enough, he loses it again coming down the downhill hairpin. And now it's fully on. We're going to get by. Almost contact. I mean, the way he swung across there was just reckless as heck, like he was trying to take me out. But no big deal. So he does manage to close up the gap quite a bit coming around these last 2 corners. It's pretty close, so we're going to see if we have another repeat of qualifying. And not this time. He does not lunge and ram me this time. We actually get a very good run through there. That's how it's supposed to be taken. We're going to go defensive into this corner. And we do a pretty good job. But he does a really good job, an even better job, going around the outside. So, again with the unnecessary bumping and moving. The pushing of the limits of each other's space. But respect to him for that move. That was a clean move. And honestly, I couldn't really be upset with that. So we're going to keep battling all the way up to the end of the race. I basically ride his tail all the way around. However, there is an opportunity to get revenge here, and I don't take it. I kind of back out. I figure he actually earned that 4th place, as much as I hate to admit it, and knowing that he killed people to get there, I just think he earned that position at the end of the day. So it turns out you can have good racing with dirty drivers. You just have to know when to give them space, essentially. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye-bye. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July for my American viewers.